Ms. Rahayu.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I declare that I am a lawyer in private practice. The Legal Profession Act and the various subsidiary legislation, including the Legal Profession Professional Conduct Rules and the Legal Profession Solicitor's Account Rules, govern the profession and help ensure that the integrity of the profession is preserved. I am heartened, therefore, by further enhancements that I believe will ensure that the high standards expected of the profession will be maintained. I wish to record my observations on several proposed amendments in this bill. Firstly, I note clauses 22, 23, 24 and 26 to 29 of the bill relate to amendments to expand the range of measures that may be imposed in disciplinary proceedings to include remedial measures. This is a laudable move in that it allows for a suite of more nuanced, meaningful and fair sanctions. The profession calls for high standards of conduct, and I believe we should continue to assert this. However, it is important to have regulation that seeks to encourage good behaviour and rehabilitate undesirable conduct, instead of being merely punitive. I therefore hope that in its application, the directions or orders for remedial measures will help to encourage better conduct amongst the lawyers who had faced the disciplinary proceedings. Secondly, I note the introduction of the new Part 5B relating to the unclaimed money fund. This is definitely a welcomed move. For far too long, lawyers have had difficulties in dealing with monies put in as deposit by clients or deposited in favour of the clients who subsequently cannot be reached. Lawyers are required to keep monies belonging to clients in the client's account until there is a proper invoice or proper instructions are given for monies to be paid out. When the clients cannot be contacted, the lawyer then has difficulties. There have been situations where the lawyer cannot close the firm because of this outstanding issue. Typically, the lawyer would ask another lawyer to take over the account, but this can be a hassle. The issue is now resolved with the introduction of the unclaimed money fund. I appreciate the effort in calibrating the provisions of this new section to be fair to the lawyer, the law society, as well as the client, especially if he or she does not show up, or eventually if he or she does show up and claim the monies. I note that the effect of the proposed sections 70K3 and 70K Part 4 is that the lawyer may potentially face a claim from a client that resurfaces within 6 years from the time the unclaimed money is transferred to the law society. I appreciate that the proposed clause 70L allows for a channel for the client or claimant to apply to the law society for payment of the whole or part of the unclaimed money, and upon payment, the law society and lawyer are discharged from liability to the claimant for the amount paid. In these circumstances, may I seek clarification on the intent of Section 70K Part 4, as there would be a wait of 6 years before the lawyer is discharged and free from any liability. I'm heartened that there is provision in the proposed Section 70L Part 5 to deal with situations where claims come in after the expiry of the 6-year period. I believe this reflects reasonableness and compassion, values which should be upheld by the fraternity. The final point I wish to raise is on the usage of the monies in the unclaimed money fund. I note that the monies forming part of the fund may be used to fund, amongst other things, pro bono services provided by the law society. The provision of pro bono services, in my view, is a key component within the community as it helps to augment the existing legal aid scheme that is available. I hope that with the access of this new fund, there would be more resources and additional effort to bridge any gaps in the legal services, in the provision of legal services, especially to those who may not meet the criteria to obtain legal aid. As mentioned above, I believe that the proposed amendments will ensure that the high standards expected of this profession will be maintained. I stand in support of this bill.